Today we're looking at a scrap blanket. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel Kazzalistic, and hi to my new subscribers. So today we are looking at, as you probably guessed from the intro, a scrap blanket. Again, this is a work in progress. That's what I've done so far. I'll do a close-up in a minute. I'm actually quite loving this. I think it's because it's such bright colours and stuff. So the pattern I'm using is by Jayda Institches. There is a video tutorial for this which I will link down in the description for those of you interested. The tutorial is called the Easy Stash Buster Crochet Blanket, or otherwise known as a Scrapgan. I am using an 8mm crochet hook, and basically what I've done is I've done a chain till it's measured about 36 inches across widthways. You're working in I'm trying to remember if I'm doing single crochet or half double crochet, so I had to check then. So as you can see, I haven't tied in my ends. I haven't worked my ends in as I go along because I like to lock them in properly. So let's just give you an idea of what the blanket looks like so far, because it's hard to fit it all on screen. So I'm just going to put my hook down. Do it from a distance, you might be able to get more of an idea. So I haven't tied my ends in. I do intend to sit down fairly soon and start tying them in, otherwise I'm going to be crying by the time I get to the end of the project. So this project, to get this effect, let me see if I can show you. So for instance here, if it'll focus. There we go. Now the premise of this blanket is to work with 2 strands at a time. You work one light strand, so for instance we have a cream here, and then a bright pink alongside it. We have cream and white, cream and green, cream and blue, cream and brown, and then obviously with a turquoise, so basically what you do is you work with a light coloured strand. So it doesn't have to be cream or white, it can be pale pink, it could be pale yellow, anything that's deemed as a light colour, and the colour you work alongside of it, so the second strand that you work alongside of it, is basically a darker colour. That's all it is to it. It's worked in half double crochets. I've done mine about 36 inches across, so it's enough to cover over somebody. So I'll be working this over the course of the year until it's long enough to be a blanket, and then I'm planning to send this to Woolly Hugs, or I may give it to somebody that's homeless locally to where I live. It'll be one of the two, probably be Woolly Hugs, but we shall see how things stand once I've finished it. But I'm really loving this. It's just because it's so vibrant. I wouldn't have thought normally this would be something that I would like, but yeah, just not liking the ends that I've got to sew in. Jayda's tutorial does show you how to work over the ends as you go along, which is fine, but I actually like to make sure that I've locked it, if you know what I mean. So where you go over a stitch, under the stitches, and over another stitch and backwards. I'm not very good at explaining, but for those of you that understand about locking it in, it shows how to lock in. Those of you who don't know, Jayda does have tutorials that show you how to lock in stitches, so just go nip across to her channel and have a look. Yeah, so I've been slowly, I've actually got a small, you know the cube storage. I've got some cube storage with the little fabric drawers. I've actually got one of those full of bits and pieces. So some of it's not acrylic yarn, so that won't be going into this. I'm purely using acrylic yarns because obviously if it ever needed to be washed, then I know it's all going to wash the same. So a lot of my scraps I've been keeping in this bowl. I made this quite some time ago. I think it might have even before I started YouTube. This was a pattern out of a book, which my best friend bought me. The yarn is, no great surprise, Mariner double knit, and this is in the colour lavender, and the rim bit is in cream, and it was one row was worked in back loops only, so that it obviously folds over. It's very similar to a hat pattern. It's basically increases, and then here obviously working in rounds, and then here back loop only for one round, and then just working up with gradual decreases, and it's all in single crochet. It took quite a while, but if you take the stuff out and put it upside down, it's very similar to a hat, so I'll give you some idea how to make it. Yeah, so this is full of scraps. Some of the scraps are bigger, but that's all I've got left of that. That is a Vanguard, a Teddy Vanguard. Is it Vanguard? I can't remember the name. Hang on. Dun, dun, dun. Oh no, it's a Teddy Avril double knitting. It's not the one I thought it was. This was off my local market. I don't intend to get any more of this. This was for a specific project. I was teaching an art group at the time. That's now disbanded, so I'm just using, that's all I've got left, so I'll be using that up. It's an old Mariner yarn in a colour which I don't think they do now. It's cerise. I've got some Mariner yellows. Oh, there you go. Vanguard double knitting, again that was for an art group. That's all I've got left, so again it's just using things up. Some of them I don't even have labels for. This is the leftover from the first granny square I did when I first relearnt crochet. For those of you who don't know, that I learnt crochet as a child. I never got past granny squares. I can't even remember who taught me. It might have been my mum, it might have been my nana, it could have even been my stepsister that I had at the time. And I haven't found that granny square. That's somewhere packed away in a shed somewhere, which is something I would like to find in time to come, but it means pulling a lot of stuff out, and at the moment that's just not time for me to do it. But so it's a little bit of turquoise left from the first square that I worked on when I relearned, because I basically had to learn again from scratch. Some of the yarn that I've used, where's the come part? I like things to be tidy. So I've got little bits of yarn like these, where they've come with magazines, and maybe I've made the item, the pattern that came in the magazine. Oh, it's gone really blurry. Hello, welcome back. Sorry about that. So I've got lots of little bits of yarn like that that came with magazines. And, you know, you maybe get 10 or 20 grams, you make a small project, and then you've got a bit left over. So I've got a lot of those. That was from a project that I made for my best friend. That's actually a sparkle yarn. That's actually a Mariner yarn. It's in the colour Sax, and that's all I've got left. I've got some of this. This is from, it's actually, again, it's a sparkle yarn. It's coming up very neon. It's not quite as bright as that. I don't know if you can see it. But there is some, it's not coming up very well on camera, but that's a sparkle yarn. That was from my local pound shop. You can get 3 50-gram balls for £2, I think it is. And I bought that for a specific project that I did a long time ago. And that was all that's left over. I've even got little bits like this. I'm not sure if I'm going to include this because I don't know if it's acrylic, but I've even got little things like that where it's come. This is by Molly Mates. It's like crochet thread, but obviously I can use that for origami or something. So I've even got little odds and bobs. So you can see lots of little, just small balls. So yeah, I keep it all in there. So basically when I get, you know, small balls, I just add it to that. So because most of the stuff I work with is acrylic, most of my scraps therefore are acrylic. So that's basically what I've been using. And like I say, you just do a light strand with a dark strand. So I've had pale pink, pale yellows, creams, whites as my light colours, and as you can see I've got an absolute multitude of turquoise, bright yellows, lavenders, turquoise, pink, red, orange, neon green, black, brown, pretty much any colour you can think of. I've fitted in this so far. So this again will be a project that I'll work on during the course of the year. As soon as it's finished, or at least halfway, then I will probably share it again. Hopefully with the ends tied in if I'm a good girl. Who wants to lay bets that I won't do it? So I hate tying in ends. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Please tell me I'm not the only one. I like projects where you don't have many ends. But I actually am enjoying doing that. So I've got quite a few blankets on the go. I've got 2 virus blankets on the go. The if blanket or mat I should call it, really, made out of the plan. I've got this one. So I've got quite a few big projects on the go. So you will find that there'll be work in progress updates as the weeks go by, hopefully. I managed to get some more done. Yeah, so that's it. I hope that was useful, and I hope that's given you some ideas of what you can do. There are all sorts of tutorials on YouTube about scrap blankets. I'm pretty sure that Bob Wilson 123 has a granny scrap blanket, but I think it's just using one colour at a time, but quote me if I'm wrong. I liked the idea of doing the light and the dark, because obviously being able to do, double up yarn and use an 8mm hook, it obviously makes up a lot quicker, and I liked the idea of that. I wanted sort of a relatively sort of, in theory, quick project, but obviously it depends how many scraps I have. Yeah, so that's it. And I want to thank a lady, and I can't remember her name, but you know who you are. You may remember when I did my cable hat video, I did ask if anybody knew of any crochet gloves with fingers patterns, and one lady came back and actually sent me a YouTube tutorial for I think it's, I'm never quite sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Oana's crochet channel. I will link the tutorial down below for that as well. So thank you ever so much. I'm sorry I can't remember your name off the top of my head. I'm terrible with names. I even struggle with people that I know really well. So it's part of, for those of you that are new to the channel that aren't aware, that I do suffer from depression and anxiety, and one of the side effects of that is that it does affect my memory quite badly, and that includes remembering people's names. Even my friend that I care for, I sometimes go to call her the wrong name, even though I'm with her 24/7 pretty much. So yeah, so I apologise I can't remember your name, but thank you anyway. What I've discovered with the YouTube tutorials, if you do want crochet patterns with for gloves with fingers, not fingerless ones, since she sent me the link and I looked it up, and obviously it triggered a whole load of other similar suggested videos that came up. It seems that on YouTube you do have to search for crochet gloves with fingers, and it was the with fingers that I was missing. So thank you ever so much. I'm really grateful. I'm chuffed to bits, because it does mean that I've now got another project to work on. Yeah, I've still got the cable scarf and gloves to do, so again that will be probably another whip coming up. I don't think I'm going to have enough bags to store all these projects at the rate I'm going. I'm so full of ideas at the moment. It's really great when you get loads of ideas, because I hate it when you dry up and you can't remember. But I'm sorry I can't remember your name, but thank you ever so much. I'm very, very grateful for that. So that's it today. Sorry I've waffled a bit. It's what I'm good at. The next video will be for Kim. which is Kim Hayhurst, and her channel is Blue Cherub 82. She's kindly sent me some yarn, so I will be sharing what she sent me. So the next video will effectively be a yarn haul, so stay tuned for that. So I hope you're all well, and remember, until next time, to stay well, happy crafting, and remember to stay true to yourself. Bye.